Hey everybody, it's Dr. Mac here. I'm out at Cow Creek. You can see that right over my left shoulder. Cow Creek is running out of Sprague Lake back in the background. Heading back the other way, it's going to go a couple more miles, winds up in Hallen Lake and Cow Lake. Then don't know exactly what's downstream of that, but I thought I'd point out a couple places as we're coming along here. First of all, if you've ever fished Sprague Lake or driven by, you might know that this west end of Sprague Lake, you're not allowed to fish there, and there's a whole bunch of weeds. It's a game refuge of some sort, but Cow Creek is actually a pretty decent fishing creek, is my understanding. And I wanted to point off over right about there. You might be able to see some dark shapes there. So during the winter, we've got some feedlots going on, some feeding operation, and I'll get closer here. Okay, I'm back. I'm a little bit closer to the feedlot operation now, and you can see more of the cows over my shoulder here, and I'll actually flip around the other side. You can see that we've got them on both sides of the road out here. So I'm about 3-4 miles to the west of the town of Sprague. Sprague's about 40 miles to the west of Spokane, and I'm going to get a little bit closer. You can see that they've got some bales of hay over here, and those bales probably came off the same field here. We can see some center pivot irrigation here, and we've got some cows here. So we go into cattle ranching when the rain is insufficient, when there is vegetation sufficient that cows can concentrate the energy into a food for us, like the cow itself. But when there's water, insufficient water or insufficient soil, that so we cannot as humans concentrate the energy in form of grains and agricultural products. So that's why we're going into a cattle ranching operation out in here. We'll see what else happens as we get a little bit closer here. Okay, so now I'm actually at Sprague Lake. I'm at the west end of the lake. I'm approximately 1 mile east of where I started this video. And what you're seeing there is it's winter. It's January of 2018, and it's been an incredibly mild winter. You can see over here is the island at the west end of Sprague Lake. As we get off over here, you might even see that the ice is, well, it's completely melted. There's not much ice here. And I'm here at the improved launch site for Sprague Lake. And you notice that this is just one of the things that might be an indication of us living in a more developed region, that we will put that improvement into our outdoor activities. And really what happens is, after roughly World War II, the American economy booms and people have more time for leisure. They try to get out and enjoy the environment more. And one of the things that happens is we start to shift away from commercial fishing in some cases and start to promote more leisure recreational fishing. And now I'm still right next to the lake. We've got some of our basalt cliffs in here, and you see right over there, there's the lake. And if you do it right, let's see if we can do this. No, that's not what I want to do. Sorry. But at any rate, yeah, there's my dogs. And oh well, let's see. And what we're doing now is we're listening. We can see the trains. So we've got a couple types of economic geography going on. We've got the train there in the background. Just on the other side, we have the interstate highway on the other side of the train tracks. So we've got all this movement. We are connecting this region with the rest of the world, the rest of the United States, and some economic and cultural geography of the Sprague area. Okay, continuing our march towards Sprague, the community of Sprague. A little bit of political geography. Right now you see a sign that says we are about to enter Lincoln County, or leaving Lincoln County. entering. Over here on the other side is another one that says that we are entering Adams County. And okay, great, we've got some signs. Somebody thinks it's important to mention that we are changing that political unit. The other thing is, if you look down right here at the road, you can see the importance of crossing the county line, that somebody has done some maintenance on one side and a different amount, or at least at a different time, maintenance here at the other, on the other side of the county line. And then as you look over here, we see that there's some pullouts on either side of the road. So that's probably because the snow plows in the winter are going to come up to the county line, and then they have to turn around and go back the other side. So they probably just have these pullouts just for the snow plows to make their U-turn. Some political geography in the area then. Okay, so I've been driving down this old historic Highway 10. That's the old road. It's been replaced now by the interstate over that we pointed out, and you might be able to see a couple trucks over here going up the interstate over there. But before the interstate came through, we were using these U.S. highways, old U.S. Highway 10, and as you go along here, if you've been out here, if you look to this, just to the south side of U.S. Highway 10, you might actually notice the road that was used even before that. So we've got a whole series of roads. Apparently, lots of people have been trying to get through this area. Roads, railroads, old roads, new roads. And then as we move into the small town of Sprague here, which was originally set up as a railroad supply maintenance center, so there's still a siding here in Sprague. But you notice over here we see things like cultural influence, and we see that there's a church that they're proud of. We see some civic organizations over here, such as the Lions Club, people getting together and saying, if we work together, we can improve our town, make it a more pleasant place for us to live, and maybe even bringing some more people. And then we see some grain elevators. Now the grain elevators kind of are in contrast to that ranching operation, the feedlot that we just saw. But the basalt that we saw when we were back at the Sprague Lake boat launch, that's visible because Sprague Lake is at the low part, and during the Missoula floods 15,000 years ago, during the Missoula floods, all this low area was flushed out and most of the soils were removed. But as soon as you get into any of the higher land, which is just a mile away, some of it, then we get into areas that still have wonderful soil that was blown in off of the Cascades and deposited over here. And so as soon as you're in higher land, we get some excellent, the Palouse area, we get some excellent agriculture, so that explains why we have the grain elevators. What's up next?